Okay, so Jax has definitely some food issues. So crib.
Crib.
There we go. So because of that, a lot of times I like to use positive reinforcers in terms of food, but that's not going to be appropriate here. So I want to talk about some of his warning signs of things to look out for that you can, so you can help spot things in the future knowing that he's uncomfortable. And it sounds like you guys have already come up, the Guardians have already come up with a couple. So there he's kind of slinking around, he's got his head low, he smelled it, but you know, there's a tension to him, and you can feel it. You guys are perceptive, which is great. So the thing that typically the first sign the dog is going to give you is he's got his head lower. He wasn't doing it there, but they're going to lower their head and stare. Typically, often from the look at you sideways. So the stare is usually the very first thing that they do. That's your first warning. Another thing that they'll do is they'll rotate their ears forward. Especially him, he has squared ears. When you're correcting him or he's feeling more submissive, it should be rotated back. If he's really apologetic, they'll be kind of turned sideways so the inside of the ear is facing forward. If he really wants to be apologetic, he'll turn him forward so the inside of his ear is facing forward. Dilated pupils, because he has such beautiful blue eyes, you'll be able to see. If you see his pupils dilate, we want to give him some space. This is something hopefully you won't have to deal with, but typically when a dog is about to bite, their eye will get covered with like a very a coating. It's a very light green. If you ever see his eyes look like they change color in green, that's typically right before they strike. So that's one of the last things. So if you see that, you don't want to run away, but you want to immediately stand up or move to the side, turn sideways. I'm going to talk about this in a second, some nonverbal ways for you to communicate with him. So let me see the hackles on the hair on the spine, particularly between the shoulder blades here and on the butt, you'll see go up. That's an involuntary reflex. The dog is trying to make itself look bigger. A lot of animals do that in nature to try to ward off things. The dog will sometimes freeze, or they will, a freeze is a big warning. Or they'll start breathing really heavy, or they'll hold their breath. Those are also indicators that you want to watch out for. Licking the lips is a sign of stress. So you're shaking your head, you know that one. Also kind of baring teeth, which is pretty obvious. Sometimes you'll see the gums go way back. That's also a sign of stress and a communication. So let me try to think of the other ones. What you're not looking for is any one of these particular things. You're looking for kind of a combination of them. But we have a sense for a reason. So if your gut tells you something is wrong, stop, pause, turn so that you're orientated sideways to the dog, take one step away, pause in between that step. Wait a second, the dog stays put, then you take another step away. Pause, take another step away. We want to make sure that we move away and give him space, and we don't want to engage it. Dog aggression will typically, sometimes it happens, boom, 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 you don't even recognize it. You'll have 7 signs that'll hit immediately. We don't want to necessarily, and sometimes they're hard to spot. So if you spot 1 or 2 and your gut tells you something, you just want to stop, give the dog some space, and you want to try to redirect the dog. So since he has a particular toys that he really likes, maybe that soccer ball, we want to try to find a toy that is a very high value toy. So we don't let him play with that on a regular basis. It's a special toy, something he really likes that only comes out.
We actually did that for a while with the football.
Okay. So we want to come out with that toy when he's in that mode, he gets like that. We'll give him a little bit of space, let it relax, and kind of let yourself relax. And then maybe you kind of, toss it back and forth between the two of you. So we want to kind of, distracting a dog, especially when it's kind of going in the aggressive direction, is a very powerful way of redirecting them. So those are the signs that you're going to want to watch out for the dog. And again, you're going to look for a combination of those. And then if you see those, turn sideways, walk away, give the dog a little bit of space, and then try to recover. And try to get the dog to come to you when you're doing the recovery. Don't go to the dog, especially when he's feeling like that. Okay?